come on.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that make me.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Andy&Han. For today, we are going to be talking about
sex.
So as you guys know, Andrew and I recently got engaged. Yes, refer back to the engagement video. It was our second to last video. You guys should watch it. But anyway, because we just got engaged, you know, people are talking about us as a couple, and I think that it's really important for us to just kind of mention some things about our relationship to get on a personal note with you guys. And I think that the topic of sex is really good for this video because it's something that is an important topic to us and should be talked about, because in a healthy way, when you're married, it's a great thing for marriages. But we have not had sex with each other. No. We have not had sex with anyone else. Period. So yeah, period. We are virgins, and that is something that's kind of rare in our generation, and it's kind of hard to talk about, you know, if you are a virgin.
That's why we're talking about it, is because like in today's world, that's totally like okay, like
like most people have had sex and had sex with other people and had sex with each other, had sex with relationships, but
and now that we're like engaged, it's like implying, like, well, obviously it's not, it's implying that we're getting married. It's just like marriage,
like, well,
sex.
Yeah.
Why not? Why are you waiting another year and a half?
Yeah, like you're engaged, like that's good enough, right? Like why not just start now? Like we want to explain to you
not so fast
why we're waiting and why that's important to us. And you know, it's rare in our generation, but it's important to understand why we're making this decision, for you guys to think about your decisions too and think, oh, maybe I should think twice about this before I go ahead and do it. So our main reason for waiting is because of our faith and because of what we believe in Christ. And the Bible talks about staying pure till we get married, and that is something that we hold true and we want to stick with. Aside from our faith, we also have different reasons of why we're going to wait. So another reason of why I'm waiting is because I think sex in a relationship is meant to be saved for marriage, because I want my husband to be the only one to look at me and say, I get to be the only one that's had sex with you, and I get to be the only one that's had you in that way. And it brings about a more personal relationship with me and my husband, and he gets to feel valued and special in that way, just like I want to feel valued and special, that I'm the only one that gets my husband in that way. It helps when you're going through it together and you're not saying, oh, like, well, he's had sex with other people, like, am I gonna be good enough, or am I gonna compare to these other people he's had sex with? And that just causes so many other problems.
It can cause an unhealthy marriage, because you're... I don't want that, and that's something that like I've saved for him and he's saved for me. So we get to kind of go through that journey together, which is kind of how it's supposed to be gone together. I also think that sex ruins relationships. It happens in high school when you aren't ready, or you're immature, or you think you're gonna marry this person, when in reality, most times you don't marry your high school sweetheart. There are rare cases that you do, but most of the time you don't. And then you end up having sex with this person and you go through a heartbreak and you go through all this and you think it's normal. Well, that heartbreak would be way easier to get over if you didn't decide to actually have sex with that person. So I think it's destructive for most relationships unless you're married, because when you're married, marriage as we see it is meant for your entire life. I don't plan on getting divorced unless something seriously terrible happens or it's an abusive relationship, but I see it as he's gonna be my husband for the rest of my life, and I want to save that for him. I don't want to save it for some guy I dated in high school who had my heart for like a couple months or a year. I want to save it to the guy who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with and have that be special for us. And also, I don't want, like, I didn't have to go through that heartbreak with any of my relationships. I didn't have to say, oh, I gave all of myself to this person and look how he treated me. No, it's like I'm going to give all of myself to my husband, and we're going to work through, we might have problems in our marriage. Whatever happens in our marriage, we'll work through that together. And he's not gonna just up and leave me when he decides to, because marriage is more serious. It's a commitment, and we value that. We value marriage so much that we know, you know, if there's a problem, I'm not just gonna say, oh, well, bye, Andrew, like, yeah,
gonna break up with you now.
You don't spend money on a like, this is like, yeah. You know? Like,
yeah, well, marriage is
a
commitment. It's serious. It's like he's committed to me the rest of my life, no matter what happens. No matter if we get into an argument or if I'm, you know, crazy, whatever. We work through everything, and it's a partnership, and it's viewed as, you know, we have Christ as the center, so we're gonna get through all of that with Christ. And that's what marriage is. So going over the top 3 things of why I'm saving myself for marriage. 1 is because of my faith and because of what the Bible says. And 2 is because I want my husband to be the only man who gets to have me and see me that way and go through that with him. And 3, because I think it's destructive in most relationships unless you're in a healthy marriage and you guys are going through that together.
Aside from my faith, my opinion of sex, guys, I don't know, I feel like I don't know. What I know of sex, I guess, because I've never had sex, so like, there's an attachment value.
Oh yeah.
That girls are more emotional. If you know you're young, you think you're gonna marry this girl, and y'all do decide to have sex, like, she's gonna freaking love you, man.
I'm ready for marriage. I'm gonna be attached to him.
Like, love. And like, you may be 15 years old, and then, you know, the next year you're like, I don't think I want to do this. There's like, you know, I'm going to the army, I'm doing this.
So much learning.
There's like a lot of like maturing that you have to go through.
You're not mature enough.
And that like process right there alone of like trying to be the good guy or whatever, you're just gonna like break that girl's heart. And if y'all didn't have sex and you break her heart, like, she's gonna get over it. But if you like have sex and then you break up with her and like you hurt her, like, there's like an emotional, like, there's more investment,
girls can go
like emotional.
Psycho.
She goes psycho, and
I already kind of go psycho.
we're not, yeah,
we're not having sex.
So it's like, ooh,
if we've had sex,
and like
I'd be triple psycho.
Every girl's different, so it's like that. Yeah, I understand, but
there's a
overall
big emotion attachment.
Women are emotional. Their emotions guide a lot of their decisions, man. They are emotional strong. Sex equals more emotion. Men equal less emotion. That we don't want that. You're just adding that, and then if you do decide to not continue your relationship, you just added a factor that causes problems. My next reason of waiting and, you know, about sex, the whole like reason, you know, the whole like equation of sex is to equal like a child. You know, there's no way around it. Like, you have sex to have a kid.
That's like the main,
like, that's how animals like have kids. That's how humans that's the point of sex, is to make another, to reproduce.
Yes.
My next reason of waiting and, you know, about sex, the whole like reason, you know, the whole like equation of sex is to equal like a child. You know, there's no way around it. Like, you have sex to have a kid.
That's like the main,
like, that's how animals like have kids. That's how humans that's the point of sex, is to make another, to reproduce.
Yes. Anyway, we all know teen pregnancy.
Stuff happens. Say you get a girl pregnant, you have to get a job full time.
Yeah, to support.
You gotta start supporting this kid. I can tell you, I don't want to do that now, and I'm 20 years old.
We're not in the financial status to support a child.
Yeah, like, me and her, we're engaged, looking forward to marriage,
but not ready for kids,
and we're going to school and all that. But if we were to have sex because it's okay, because we're engaged, and then I get her pregnant, that literally will destroy all our plans completely.
And then we'll have to, I know
I'll have to
cause
drop out of
arguments, and then it'll change our whole life, which I'm saying that, like, you know, things happen and you can move past it. I'm not saying there's no hope or anything like that after. Like, once you made your decision, it's like how you deal with it. So like, if you get a girl pregnant or something, do whatever, you deal with it in a godly way then after. Like, well,
there's lots of success stories, you know?
Yes, and there's ways to like do it in like a good way and handle it in a good way, but sin is sin, and like that, like, if you're thinking and you're 15 years old and every time you're having sex, you're thinking, okay, you know, this is the point of having sex, is to have a kid. Are you really ready to have a kid? If you're not, then, like, when you're married and accidents happen, because they do,
that's okay.
You're married and you can figure it out, and you'll like be okay financially, and you guys can have each other to support for the rest of your lives. in high school, you don't have each other for the rest of your lives yet. You're so young and immature. You have no idea what you're doing with your life, and it's just so much extra stress and so much extra problems that you could just avoid if you just didn't.
Yeah.
And of course it's not easy, but
well, it's like, okay, well, here's another scenario. Like the guy, it's easier for a guy. Like a guy can just run away from problems. We're not carrying the child. That right there, for a girl's perspective.
And then I'm gonna think of men as a terrible species and hate all men. What I'm saying is like if that happened to me. And that's the problem, is so many men nowadays, you know, don't like responsibility and don't like claiming that, and then the women end up having to, you know, kind of do the men's job as well, and then it causes women to hate men, and then it's just, you know, problem after problem. Whereas instead how it's supposed to be is, you know, you're married, you make that decision together, and you have the baby, and the man is, you know, heading it up and supporting it and loving you and loving the baby, and that's how it's kind of created to be. But there's all these extra problems when you don't do it the right way. So when you're not married and you have kids and the husband dips out, or I mean when you're not married and have kids and the boyfriend dips out, you know, so many things that you have to work through now that you wouldn't have to work through if you were married and your husband was committed to you and you had that commitment to him.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's our thoughts on sex. And we're waiting till marriage. We are engaged for a year and a half, so
next fall.
Another year and a half until, you know, like we're waiting.
Yes. And you know, we've been dating for almost 4 years.
Yeah, we've been dating for 4 years. So,
okay, so if you want to say, oh yeah, I can maybe wait for a few months, but then there's no way, we've waited. And it's definitely like not easy. It's not easy. I'm not going to say, oh, it's a walk in the park, you know, it's no big deal.
Not like,
there's still physical struggles, and you still have to work through things and set boundaries, and there's still lots of things that you're gonna struggle with.
She said something, set boundaries. You need a strong man, but you need a strong woman.
You both need to have a mutual agreement that this is why we're gonna wait, and we're gonna set boundaries so that it doesn't happen, and be successful in that, and love each other well, and keep the Holy Spirit involved. And that is something that we have committed to, and it's not easy. It's, like I said, it's a struggle. Sin is still a temptation, but we don't act on that temptation, and we are waiting till we get married for that reason.
And it's going to be like so worth it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so worth it.
I'm looking forward to it.
We get to experience that with each other and go through that together, and we'll have the rest of our lives
420 some days. I mean, who's counting?
Who's counting? So that's the point of this video. I really thought that it was really important for us to kind of come on here and talk about that. Andrew from a man's point of view, and from a girl's point of view.
And we are still happy.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
See?
Guys, we are actually, like, I'm very lucky to have an amazing, incredible man like Andrew. I know how lucky I am. He's 1 in a million, and
I love Hannah.
Very lucky to have him. I love you.
I love you too.
It doesn't affect your,
guys,
like,
I'm freaking engaged to her. Holy crap!
I just want to let you guys know, like, sex does not equal happiness. If you're having sex in a relationship, that is, and you're happy, it may not be because of sex. Because we have not had sex, and we are so happy, and our relationship is healthy, and you don't need sex in the relationship to keep each other happy and all that stuff. We are very lucky and fortunate to have each other and to have Christ as our foundation, but you know, going forward, we're excited to have sex be a part of our marriage, and it's a healthy thing when you're married. There's nothing wrong with talking about that and talking about, hey, you know, we're excited for when we're married and to be a part of that. That's gonna be awesome to go through that together. But, you know, until we're married, I just don't think it's the right choice for all the reasons that we said.
And we will stand firm in that.
And I hope this opens up some thoughts, and you guys
comment if you have any questions, or like you want to have a conversation, comment and like this video.
Let us know what you guys think of this video, what your views on sex. Yeah.
Dislike it. We don't really care.
I really hope this turns some gears in your head about thinking about what sex means to you.
Creates any sort of thought.
And what you want in your relationship, and what your goals are in your relationship and in your life, and what the meaning of sex is to you. So
with that, like, dislike, subscribe, start a conversation in the comments. We will, you know, we'll have a conversation. Follow us on Instagram. Follow her on Instagram if you're a girl and you want to message her on Instagram, this girl is solid reply right here.
All the time. I won't leave you hanging.
She's replies within a minute.
So let us know if you have any questions from the girls or guys' point of view. We'd love to talk about it. We love being open about this.
I'll talk too if you want to ask me, but
yeah, guys, younger guys, older guys, you guys have questions. This guy is a prime example of a man who tries to live a godly life and falls down at times and fails, but gets right back up again and is incredible. And if you have any questions about a guy's point of sex and questions about his point of view and all that stuff, ask him. And,
yeah, because by all means, it's not always the guy, wanting to have sex with the girl. Sometimes the girl may be pressuring a guy.
Reach out, talk to someone and reach out to us.
Be vulnerable. It's okay. I'm vulnerable.
With that, we're gonna sign out. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Peace out, Andy and Han.